Today we're going to work on a solo arrangement of Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. This was actually voted on over at my Patreon page, so be sure to check that out in the link down below if you're interested in finding more arrangements like these. Let's go ahead and start with the beginning though, with these first set of bars for Isn't She Lovely, Isn't She Wonder. And so to play this, well, let's go ahead and hear it. It should sound something like this. So the way that this should sound is, nice and easy going. We're trying to really create a nice tone with it. So to do this on my playing hand, I am only using my thumb to strum through these notes. You're more than welcome to use finger picking if you're more comfortable with it, but I like just the thumb going through. Now to start playing it, we're going to start with our ring finger here on the 7th fret of the A string, then pinky on 8 of the A, back to 7 on the A, for the words isn't she, and then we're going to go to the word lovely. We're going to play this sort of A minor type chord, so if you want to play along with somebody, the chords are listed above so that they can play those. But it's basically an A minor 7 played with your middle finger here on the 5th fret of the E string, and your ring finger is being added on the 5th fret of the A string. You're going to strum through all 4 of these. You'll notice there's a little bit of suspension there because the next chord is going to be the index here on the 3rd fret of the A string. And that's really the A minor 7 sound. And those are the words lovely, with the middle finger staying on the 5th fret of the E the whole way. Now the next chord that we're going to play is a D7, but you'll notice there's no lyric associated with it. The reason why that's important is anytime there are words, we want to play a little bit louder. Anytime there aren't, we want to pull back a little bit to create nice layering. To play this chord, bar across the 5th fret of all 4 strings, and then add the middle finger here to the 6th fret of the C string. We're going to strum through all 4, nice and soft. Then for the words Isn't She Wonder, we're going to start by adding our ring finger here to the 7th fret of the A string and strum through all 4 strings again. And then we're going to add the pinky to 8 on the A, and then play 7 on the A again. It's a little tricky holding all of this, and so make sure that when you're doing this bar, you're getting right up next to that fret wire, and that can really help get a good tone. If you're kind of falling back, you have to push a lot harder, and it makes it a lot more difficult. So we have Isn't She, and then to play Wonder, we're going to play this really cool G7 chord. Take your index finger, place it on the 5th fret of the C string, and your ring finger here on the 7th fret of the E string, followed by your middle finger on the 5th fret of the A string. We're going to play through all 4 strings, 1, and then for dur, we're going to take our pinky finger, place it on the 8th fret of the E string. Now it doesn't matter if your middle finger comes off here, or even your ring finger, it just matters that your index stays on 5, because the chord that's being played is 0, 5, 8. And then we're not going to play the A string, so you can actually strum through with your thumb and stop on the A. And that's the word dur. Wonder. So this whole first stanza should sound and look something like this. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonder? And now we'll go to the next stanza here, and the next stanza should sound something like this. Full. Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute. So to play this, well, you'll notice there's some repetition, which is always good. We're going to start with a C chord. So index finger here on the 3rd fret of the A string, strum through all 4 strings. And then we're going to move our ring finger up to 7 on the A, strum through all 4 strings together. And then 8 on the A with the pinky, and 7 on the A with the ring again. And that gives us the words full, isn't she? And on the words precious, they're exactly the same as the words lovely on measure 1, which is kind of cool. So that same little A minor, 0055 to the 0053. Same exact sequence. Pretty nice. And then guess what? It continues because we play this D7. Less than 1 is exactly the same as isn't she. Pretty nice. And then guess what? The next part here, min, net, is the same as wonder. So if you learn those first few bars, you know most of the bars here on the next few. And that's actually a sign of a good song. Repetition is very key to create a catchy melody. So measures 4, 5, 6, and 7 should sound something like this. Again, with measures 5, 6, and 7 being exactly the same as 1, 2, and 3. Should be something like full, isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute. As we go on the next part here, measures 8, 9, and 10, it's going to go old, and then I never thought through love we'd we'd be making. And that's how those next few bars sound like. To play them, you're going to start with a C chord here, measure 8, 3 on the A, and then you're going to slide that index up to 7 on the A for the word I, and then nev is going to be the middle finger here on 8 of the A, the pinky up to 10 on the A. And I like to kind of leave these fingers in this general zone because the next chord that's played here is an F. It's labeled as F. It's really this like F add 9, really fun sound. Take your ring finger, place it on the 9th fret of the C string, and then take your middle finger and place it on the 8th fret of the E string. And you're going to leave your pinky here on 10, and your index can actually stay here on 7. You're going to strum through all 4 strings. And that's the word thought with that kind of F add 9 chord. And then you're going to play the words through love weed. And to do that, we're going to play 7 on the A with the index. So we just take our pinky off. And then we're going to move our middle finger to 8 on the A. And then pinky up to 10 again. Weed. So we'd have thought through love weed. And I think this is the hardest part of the song. It's going to go to the word be. And I guarantee you when you play this, it's going to seem wrong, but I promise it's not. Slide the pinky down to 8 on the A. Add the index finger bar across 4. So 4, 4, 4, 8. And when you listen to this chord on its own, ooh, that's a tough sell, right? Well, the reason is because you play this, be, and then making. And you can hear it resolves a little bit at that 7. And so that 8 is really just designed to pick up some tension. You'll notice that I like to stack my middle finger across the bar with the index just to make it a little bit easier on myself. So we have be, making. So here's what that whole sequence sounds like starting at 8. Old, I never thought through love we'd be making. Going now into measure 11, so you can hear 11 through 14, it should sound something like this. One as lovely as she, but isn't she lovely made from? And so to play this stretch, we're going to start with our A minor chord, A minor 7, but a little bit different than how we played it before. We're going to take our pinky, place it on the 7th fret of the A string, and then take your middle finger and place it on the 5th fret of the E string. You're going to strum through all 4 strings, and that's 1. And then you're going to play the 5 on the A. Leave the ring finger, or excuse me, leave the middle finger where it is, and add the ring finger to 5 on the A. Then we're going to play 3 on the A, taking your ring finger off, adding the index finger to 3. And then add the ring finger back on to 5. And then take it back off for the index to play 3. A little bit confusing, but you can see that's just these fingers moving within this sort of chord. So it looks like this. 1, and then as, lovely as, right? So you can see it just is continually stacking. And then we go to the word she, a different D7 than we've played to this point. We're going to play 2, 0, 2, 0. Index finger here on the 2nd fret of the G string, middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the E, strum through all 4. You can play it, and let it ring a little bit. I like this as a little bit of a stopping point. And then we're going to play open on the G for the word but. If you're on a low G ukulele, you'll notice that this is the first note that you play that's not for low G. So if you're on a low G, you can play 3 on the E instead, or you can just play the low G and see how it sounds. And then we're going to play Isn't She. So we go back up to the higher D7, bar across the 5th fret on the G, C, E, and A strings, add the middle finger here on the 6th fret of the C string, and then add the ring finger here on the 7 of the A, strum through all 4. That's for the word is, and then int going to be 8 on the A with the pinky, and then 7 on the A with the ring there again. And when we go to lovely here, we go back to that G7 we've played a few times, the 0, 5, 7, 5. We're going to add the pinky on 8 of the E, just like we did earlier. Then we're going to go down, and what we're going to play here is 0, 2, 1, 0. Middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the C string, index here on the 1st fret of the E string, strum through all 4, and that's made. And then for the word of, or from, excuse me, made from. I'll add a little spice here just because I think it sounds so cool. What you're going to do is you're going to strum your G, C, and E strings on that 0, 2, 1, stopping on the A string. And as soon as you're done with that, you're going to hammer on the ring finger onto the 3rd fret of the E string. Now, if you struggle with hammer-ons and haven't done them before, the gist of it is to make sure that you're using the tip of the finger and treating it like a little hammer as you go onto the string. If you haven't worked on these before, I've got a whole course on them that's over at my Patreon page and actually linked in the description below called Efficient Embellishments. And check that out if you struggle with hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides and all that good stuff. But what that is now is measures 11 through 14 should sound like one as lovely as she, but isn't she lovely made from? And then from here we go into our ending section, which is going to go to the word love, and then to hear it, to play it, what we do is we play the word love, C chord, and I like to just use my ring finger here on that 3 on the A. And then we're going to play this pentatonic scale, basically. And to do this scale, what you're going to do is you're going to start with your index finger here on the 7th fret of the C, and then ring on 9 of the C, and then middle here on 8 of the E, pinky on 10 of the E, index on 7 of the A, pinky on 10 of the A, a bit of a pinky workout here because pinky's going to go up to 12, and pinky's going to slide up to 15. And then we play a C chord. So that little run sounds like that. Another little note is this whole song has kind of a swing shuffle feel. So make sure you're swinging these 8th notes. And if you don't know what that means and that sounds really, intimidating, just kind of feel it. It's not this. It's that sort of sound. And so that final stretch there, starting on 15, is something like this. It goes, love. Now, this is not very long because that's the end of the song. But what's cool about this song is it's kind of a jam. And so if you learn just this much of the tune and you end it here, you have a nice kind of short version of the song that sounds really good. If you want to add more to it, what can you do? Well, instead of playing that C chord at the end, you can just go back into isn't she, and go back into the song and just repeat it. If you repeat the whole thing, doubles the length, and it still sounds really good. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, what you can do is start adding some strumming here. So if you're really, really wanting to make this song sing, what I recommend is starting to get comfortable with swing strumming, which is just keeping your hand moving down and up in that sort of swing feel. If you're really confused by swing and swing strumming, I actually have a course available on swing strumming linked down below where you can learn how to create these sort of jazz and swing patterns. But if you're trying to do this, as long as you keep your hand moving down and up in a swing pattern, almost the entire song has sort of chords that are being held. And this makes it really easy to create a strummed version. And that might look something like this. Right? You can hear that sort of sound. It sounds pretty good, right? And then So that's something that you can try to experiment with. And remember, at the end of the day, the way that you know you're doing it right or wrong is if you have the right number of beats per measure and does it sound good? Because if it does sound good, you're doing something right. So if you like to elevate this arrangement, that's something you can try. Try strumming it a little bit. Keep that hand moving and see if you can make those movements in the left hand and make them kind of fit together to make the arrangement your own. As always, though, if you have any questions with this arrangement, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing what you guys decide for next month's tutorial here on this YouTube channel. Thanks so much. Take it easy. I'll talk to you soon.